So what's going on, guys? And today I'm going to be talking to you guys about a future DLC map which could very well be coming to Black Ops 3 Zombies, and I'm talking about a Moon remake. Now, I probably sound absolutely ridiculous, but hear me out, sit down and watch this video, as Treyarch have given us a ton of hints over the last few months and leading to the beginning of Black Ops 3's kind of like announcement, where we've had a few different Moon references here and there, and there's a lot of them that we can look at now and really start to maybe think that this could be a thing happening in the near future. So let's do a bit of time traveling into the past and look at the different references Treyarch have given us towards Moon. Now, this isn't entirely related, but I thought I would mention this just because it does link in quite well, and this is actually the DICE presentation, which was a presentation that Mark Lamia from Treyarch gave in February time to a load of people talking about the creation of Zombies and the development process, and they had some images of the original 4 characters in their origins forms, where in 2 different images Richtofen was crossed out, either crossed out or just rubbed out from the images. Now, at the time we didn't know that this was linked to the Giant, where the older version of Richtofen gets killed by the origins version. So at the time we thought this was linked to Moon, as in the Moon Easter egg Richtofen and Samantha Maxis actually changed bodies, so Samantha is now within Richtofen's body. Now let's jump forward to August 2015, where we got our hands on Black Ops 3 multiplayer for the first time in the public beta on the map Combine, and it's still there in the full game, and there's an actual framed picture in one of the rooms where you can see the wave gun blueprint from Moon, which is a very nice subtle little Easter egg and could potentially be a nod to the Moon remake. But in that same room near the wave gun blueprint is actually a small little pyramid which could either link into the MTD, which is where Samantha Maxis was trapped in and was eventually opened to present to us in the Easter egg, or it could be a link to a possible future map location being in Egypt, but I'd like to think it was a nod to Moon. Skipping ahead to October 23rd of 2015, where Treyarch released a brand new trailer before Black Ops 3 came out called Treyarch Zombies: A Brief History, which showed a ton of different trailers of World at War, Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2, and there was a single frame where a brand new Moon loading screen was shown, and Treyarch never do this without there being some sort of meaning. They simply wouldn't dare to put a different loading screen in there if it didn't have any significance. Now, in the DICE presentation back in February, they showed a slightly different version of the Doris loading screen, and there was good reason for that, because they of course did remake Doris with the Giant. Now, there are a few subtle changes to the loading screen in this image compared to the original one in Black Ops 1. Most noticeable is the fact that the astronauts walking towards the Griffin station are actually walking away from it, and you can see this in this new loading screen. Also, the shadow of Samantha holding her teddy bear is no longer cast on the Moon, it's actually in a separate window, and we now have just this clear Moon, but we still have the MTD floating there in the sky, but we don't have the meanwhile kind of comic style text, and the stuff on the left hand side of the screen is very different to the one in the original. We don't have a tear in the bottom left as well in that kind of comic style art that we had in Black Ops 1, where you could see previous and future maps in the little rips in the comic strips. Now, some people can argue and say that this could just be concept art for the Moon loading screen, but I don't know why Treyarch would put a concept image of the loading screen in for only one single frame. They might as well have just shown the original one if there wasn't anything there, but the fact they did put this in for one single frame for those beady-eyed viewers to notice this, there is definitely something going on. And now we jump to November 5th, where we get our hands on Black Ops 3 Zombies, and we're greeted with the Giant and Shadows of Evil, and the Giant presents to us this brand new timeline where events that have happened before are changing, and our crew are changing the things that have happened in history in order to save the children. And we have a bunch of awesome quotes and little sounds on the Giant, which could potentially link to a Moon remake. Now, the first one is, even before you actually get into the game, and when you're playing on co-op, of course, like any zombies map, you're greeted with a loading screen. Now this loading screen is very similar to ones that we've had for the past remakes, but this one's got a little additional thing in the top. So if you look very closely, you may or may not be able to notice we have a very similar blueprint that we saw on the map Combine sneakily hiding underneath there, and that is the wave gun blueprint, again from Moon, hiding underneath this picture on the giant loading screen. Now I don't know about you, but that is really, really suspicious, and that of course isn't just put there just for the sake of it. There's obviously some deeper meaning towards that, but let's go and look at some more stuff within the giant, and then we'll come back to this. Now this is a remake of the original Doris, so there are a few little differences with this map compared to the original, and the song in this map, whilst it's still the same song, has a slightly different remix where it sounds a little bit different and there's new things added in. And pay attention to the ending. I'm going to play for you the ending of the song in the giant, the Beauty of Annihilation remix, then straight after I'm going to play the ending of the original Beauty of Annihilation, and tell me what you notice. Okay, now you may or may not have noticed what the significance in the difference of the ending is, so I'm going to play for you now the Moon loading screen. It contains the image that I showed you earlier in the video, as well as a loading song. Pay attention to this. And now let's listen to the end of the Beauty of Annihilation remix one more time, and then I'll play you the Moon loading screen song a further one more time. Now you can obviously hear they sound exactly the same. They're using the exact same melody there, which actually is Samantha's Lullaby, which has been used throughout all of the zombies' story in all of the maps, and is quite an important song. Now this is thrown into the giant, obviously to relate to Samantha, of course, because this story is going to involve her and Eddie, who are the children in the house, but this is a direct link with the songs being the exact same to the ones on Moon. It's also worth pointing out that this is the exact same song that you hear in the Origins end cutscene, as well as the end cutscene of Shadows of Evil when you complete the Easter egg. Now at this point you're probably sat there going, oh my gosh, there are a ton of Moon hints and this is definitely something coming, or you're going to be like, nah, this is just ridiculous now. And there's one other thing that I'm going to point out to you which can definitely link to the fact that we might see Moon at some point. It's actually from our good old American Tank Dempsey in The Giant, where he talks about the Pack-a-Punch.
This machine's been everywhere I have. France, Brazil, even the damn Moon. Why is that? These machines have been everywhere I have. France, Brazil, even the Moon. Why is that?
He's seen this machine in France, which of course relates to Origins. He also speaks about Brazil. We're not too sure about that location. Could be linked to Shangri-La, because we do have this kind of where the original characters and these giant characters are kind of merging together from their older selves. Or it could be relating to a map location that we've not been to, but it's the last place he mentions, where he says he's seen the Pack-a-Punch machine on the Moon. Now, where in the Origins timeline has Tank Dempsey ever visited the Moon? There's not been a time. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Treyarch are throwing all of these Moon hints to us, and at so far we've been oblivious towards them because we've noticed them, but we've never really thought too much of it. But there is just so many Moon hints now that it's actually getting silly, and there's definitely something going on here. Now, we have 4 DLCs to look forward to with Black Ops 3 Zombies, and we know the first one is going to take us to Austria in the Eisendrache, but we aren't too sure of the other 3 maps. We have potential locations because of the coordinates in a Hidden Shadows of Evil picture, but it would be amazing if we did go and visit Moon again. If you look back at the DICE Summit, we got given that Derice loading screen, which was a massive hint to the Derice remake, which did happen, and that image is actually very similar to the one that we got in the actual loading screen. We got this new Moon image where the astronauts are walking away from Griffin Station rather than towards, and there are a lot of differences. Now, this is just ringing alarm bells now that Moon is definitely going to be seen in some point in Black Ops 3 Zombies. There's a lot of history with Richtofen and Group 935 in the original Moon, where Griffin Station housed a lot of really important storyline plots, including Samantha getting trapped in the MPD and taking control of the zombies from the offset. Now, we know things are going to be slightly different because we're on a different timeline, but how awesome would it be to go back to Moon and see those events slightly altered because of what Richtofen is planning on doing to change history? I think it would be absolutely amazing, but let me know what you think of all of this. I'll let you guys be the judge of this down below in the comments section. But if you enjoyed the video, make sure to smash that like button. I really would appreciate it. Make sure to subscribe for more awesome videos like this, and I'll catch you guys on another one very, very soon.